All right, we have a lesson today. I don't know if you've seen this before. This is CCSS 2.RL 2.1. Does anybody know what that is? No? That's why I'm your teacher, because my job is to teach you what this is. CCSS, Common Core State Standards. Does that sound familiar? No, yeah, maybe. Okay. The new state standards tell our teachers what we should teach you and what you should learn and what you should be able to do in grades kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all the way to 12th grade. So this black writing and green writing is the standard. Now, what do you think the 2 stands for? What is it? Second grade, yeah. So Common Core State Standards for second grade. RL is reading literature. So what are we going to do? We're going to read. Yeah, we're going to read. All right, repeat after me, please. Ask and answer questions.
Ask and answer questions.
Such as who? What? Where? When? Why? And how? To demonstrate understanding of key details in a text. That is what we're doing today. How many of you understand the word demonstrate? Do you know the word demonstrate? Because now our job is to make sure that we understand the standard. We can't just do the standard, we have to make sure we understand it. If you have a guess of what demonstrate means, would you whisper to your partner? And this, you're going to either whisper, I think it means, and tell, or you're going to whisper, I don't know what it means. Okay, go ahead, whisper it somewhere. What do you think? Do you have a guess or not? Demonstrate means what? Back to meaning 3. Back to meaning 2. Your attention please in 1. What color marker?
Blue.
What color marker?
Blue.
Does anybody would someone please share what their guess of what demonstrate means? Because we're going to demonstrate understanding. That's our job today, to demonstrate understanding. Okay? Young lady straight ahead of me, yeah. I think demonstrate means.
So, make sure that they're right about this and try it out.
Okay, so say I think demonstrate means.
I think demonstrate means to try something out
To try something out. To demonstrate is to try something out. That is one definition. How else can we describe the definition or give the definition demonstrate? Thank you for that one. Okay, we're going to try something out. That was a girl. Let's call on the young man. Yes, sir.
I think demonstrate means you show them how to do it.
There's the key word. The key word was show. Show. Well done, sir. Okay? So we're going to combine those two, and we're going to say that demonstrate means to try and show someone whatever you're demonstrating. Okay? So repeat after me. Demonstrate means to try and show what you're doing. So listen please. Today what you're doing is asking and answering questions. So today we're going to ask and answer questions, so we're going to demonstrate that. We're going to try to ask questions, we're going to try to answer questions, we're going to show how we're going to do that. Okay? That's our job today. To ask questions, to answer questions, as a way to demonstrate, to show what we know about the reading. Okay? Alright, you ready? Okay, let's give it a whirl. I have one piece of paper. This paper has 2 sides on it. It has the front side and it has the back side. Your pencil is on the middle of the paper now in 2. Come on, get that name and date on there real quick. We need to get to our learning and demonstration of our ability to ask and answer questions. 2 and 1. you're done, put your paper. Now, has anybody ever heard of the parking lot? Yeah? On your desk, you're going to push your paper to the parking lot, which is the top edge of your desk, and your pencil's on it. That way, it's not distracting you. I like to recognize my two students right here. They put it to the top and in the corner. Okay. So this month is Black History Month, and we study the history of African Americans, black families, black students, black people in our country. So one, they can learn about their history, and we can learn about our fellow Americans in their history. Okay? Because everybody contributes to our history in some way. So this article is about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I need to show you a couple of things about this piece of writing before we begin reading. You only need to look. You do not need to write at this time. You're going to look at the very top of the paper as it's typed, and there's a date. It says August 27, 2013, right? That's the date the article is written, okay? So that's all you need to know. It was written a couple years ago. It does not impact anything about the lesson. Okay, that's just the date there. Then it says King's Dream in big bold type, and in parentheses, does anyone know that word? Excerpted. Okay, excerpted means I took a piece of it. So the article is actually longer than this. I just took a piece. Let's go this way. I took a piece of it. An excerpt is a piece. Okay, you ready? Good job. Thank you for your focus, sir. Finally, oh, and then there's a subtitle which says, 50 years ago, Martin Luther King Jr. gave one of the most important speeches in U.S. history. Okay, that's called a subtitle. Finally, there's called a byline, because it has the word by. It tells us who the author is. It's by a woman named Laura Madigliani. All right? Now what I need everybody to do is I need you to pick up your pencils, and I would like you to write a line that goes across the paper below the byline. Okay? So it goes below the author's name, all the way across the paper. Okay? All the way across the paper below the author's name. Okay, the reason I want you to do that is because we're not going to worry about the part on top. We're going to worry about the part on the bottom. Okay? So the part on the top, we're not going to worry about. Okay, next part. I would like you to have your papers in front of you so you can read along with me. Okay? You do not need your pencil for this. You can follow with your finger. You can follow with the pencil if you need to, but you don't need to if that's not what you follow with your pencil or your finger or your eyes. Okay? The first word of the sentence is what? On. You're correct. So I'm going to read that first section there. On August 28, 1963, King was about to deliver what would become one of the most famous speeches of all time. And then there's a period, okay? That first paragraph. Now we're going to use that first paragraph to demonstrate how we can ask questions, okay? All right, how we can ask questions. I'm going to do the first one for you. And all you have to do is copy down what I write, okay? Now, repeat after me. Today, try it again. Today, we are going to demonstrate asking who questions, what questions, and other questions. So that's our goal right now. So I'm going to use the first paragraph, and I'm going to create one who question. Okay? And the who question begins with what word? Who. Yeah, exactly. Now, if I'm writing a who question for the first paragraph, who do you think I'm going to ask about? Who do you think I'm going to ask about? Only 8 people know. Let's do some thinking. After I read the first paragraph, I'm going to create a who question. Who do you think I will be asking about? Okay. I believe it's the young lady's turn. So, yes, young lady. Junior. Exactly. The first paragraph about Martin Luther King Jr., so I'm going to ask a question about Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm going to ask this one. You can copy it down. why don't we copy it down right under the first paragraph, okay? Or you can create your own who question if you'd like to phrase it some other way. Who was Martin Luther?
Did you see that?
Junior. There's my question. It's going right under the paragraph. Who was Martin Luther King Jr.? You can do it. Just copy my words, and it goes right in that space. Good. Now, did you just ask a question in writing? You did. So we're medium standard. You just asked a who question, and that's our job today. So, congratulations, pat on the back. Good job. Okay? I think, though, that we can ask some more questions, don't you?
Yeah.
I think so. All right? I'm going to give you a challenge. You're going to talk to your partner to make sure that you can meet this challenge. And I will help you if you don't know the answer. Okay? We're going to create another question from our first paragraph. And I would like this question to be a where question. Before you write, please tell your partner what you think the where question will be for the first paragraph. Go for it. I think a where question can be, I'm only going to write one question though for the board. You can write your question in, below the first paragraph too, or somewhere else on your page. Okay? All right, first up though, let's get everybody's thinking. So pencils down. Sorry about that. I kind of gave you 2 steps there. We just want to do one at a time. Be focused, please. Okay, a where question. Would someone please volunteer their where question? You can volunteer your own, or you can share what your partner said too. Okay, whichever you prefer. All right, I think we went to a young lady last time. So yes, sir, in the hat. I can ask.
Where did Martin Luther King Jr. say his speech?
Okay, where did Martin Luther King Jr. say his speech? Okay, thank you for that where question. Excellently done. You already spoke, young lady, so I want a new young lady, and we'll go to you.
Where did Martin Luther King stand on the steps?
Yeah, where did he stand on the steps? I don't know if you've ever been to the Lincoln Memorial, but there's a lot of steps, and it's a huge, huge place. So where was he is an excellent question. Is there someone else who'd like to share one more where question? Yes, sir?
Martin Luther King, where he was at the memorial.
Oh, look, he jumped to the answer. He jumped to the answer. That's part of the standard too. Thank you for that. But I want one more question before we get to the answer. Would you like to share a question, or would you like to keep your answer? Keep your answer, okay? We'll come back to the answer another time. I need another young man with a question. Anybody? Yes, sir?
Where was Martin King punished from not playing with his friends?
Where was he punished not playing with his friends? Interesting question. Now I will say, I'm glad he's thinking that way. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life was not easy, and he was punished. But it wasn't for playing with his friends. He was punished for what some people thought was breaking the law. Okay, hand down. Okay? So I want to thank you for your question, because the punished part was a hard part of Doctor's life, as well as some of his friends' lives. Okay? Thank you for that. All right, so we're going to go to the first question. We're going to go back to that first question, right? So where I'm going to put Dr. King Jr., just to make it a little shorter. He earned his degree, make his speech. I think that was one of the questions. Okay, your job is to copy that question as well, or write down your own where question. Okay? You have about a minute to do that. Let's finish up. And what color marker?
Black.
And what color marker?
Blue.
Okay. So your attention, please. Papers down, pencils on top, parking lot. Okay. Just to remind you, Dr. King is in Washington, D.C., which is the capital of our country, across on the East Coast. There are millions of people watching on TV at the time, and he's about to make one of the most famous speeches. He's about to give a talk. Okay, a speech is a long talk. All right? Now, there's what's called a heading, and the heading is the part with all capital letters. Okay, so it's the heading of this next section of the article. Okay? And if you can see your paper in front of you, what does the heading say, everybody?
Marching for freedom.
Yeah, marching for freedom. Okay? All right, so I'm going to read to you again. This time as I read, since you're doing really well with the questions, I want to make sure you also understand vocabulary. As I read, I'm going to stop at the end of the paragraph, and I need a hand up if you need one of the words that I read defined. I don't know what that word is, Mr. Gonzalez. Can you tell me? Okay, so listen for words you don't know and listen to the story. Marching for freedom. I'm on the second paragraph now. The crowd had gathered for the March on Washington. It was the biggest protest of the civil rights movement, the long struggle to gain equal rights for African Americans and others. Period. Okay, I have one hand up who's identified a word, and there's three. I'm pretty sure there's a word in there that about half of you aren't sure what it means, so I want to see half the hands. Okay. All right. I would like to call on the young lady with a purple jacket. What is the word you need to have defined?
Is civil.
Civil rights movement. Okay, I will get to that one. What's another word? Make sure I have all the words I need. In the young lady in the blue shirt. Yeah.
Protest.
Protest. Any other words besides protest and civil rights? Yeah. Movement. Excellently done, everybody. You picked the words I was hoping you would pick because they're very important words for this article. Okay? What you're going to do is underline or circle the word protest. Everybody underline or circle the word protest, and we will make sure. So I'm writing the word on the board, and what you're going to do is copy my definition connecting to the word protest on your paper. We have a lot of writing on this paper. Okay? All right, so protest, to act against. To act against. Okay? Something that is not good. All right, so we're going to act against something that's not good. Okay? Now, this, I need you to concentrate. Okay? I need you to concentrate. Here we go. When I protest against something not good, in this case, they marched. They came together, hundreds of thousands of people, and they were peacefully protesting. They walked to show that they didn't like, they wanted to walk against and show they didn't like the laws that were hurting African Americans and other people. And it was a protest. Now the protest was part of the civil rights movement. Now, after the word movement, what punctuation is there? Not an apostrophe, a comma. Okay? Now, after, oh, I need everybody's attention. Stay with me. We're almost going to move in this a little bit. Okay, watch me, boys and girls. I have my vocabulary word. Civil rights movement. Comma. After the comma is the definition. There is the definition. So what I want you to do is circle or underline civil rights movement. Okay? Civil rights, underline or circle. Whatever you did for protest, do for civil rights movement. Now, the definition, boys and girls, comes right after that comma. So what I'm trying to show you is that that comma is a signal that the definition is coming for that particular paragraph. All right, so repeat after me, please. The civil rights movement.
The civil rights movement.
Try it again. The civil rights movement
The civil rights movement
is the long struggle
is a long struggle
to gain equal rights
to gain equal rights
for African Americans and others.
for African Americans and others.
Okay, now look at me, please. The key to reading a tough news article is to look for clues like that comma. Because that comma tells us the definition is coming. Okay, the definition is coming. In this case, the civil rights movement is a long struggle. They worked hard to get equal rights for people who are African American and other folks in the country. Okay, that's what the civil rights movement is. And we were protesting with the march to say we do not like these laws that are hurting part of American citizens, the African Americans and other people. Okay?